they've intentionally tried to skew whatever our picture is of an alien to think that like when an alien invasion happens, it's going to be like Independence Day, the whole sky is going to be flooded with these huge crafts. But did you know that the main inspiration for the aliens from the Alien trilogy was actually a pea site? Yes, the main inspiration for the xenomorphs from all the alien movies was this aquatic parasitic animal called the phronema. And I gotta watch my language, so I can't say the P word, so we're gonna call them pea sites, right? So all of these pea sites in all these movies that have aliens have this similarity that they need to have a host, just like the face huggers from the Alien series. They need a human host, just like these pea sites do. So if you think about it, these worms, these pea sites, really are an alien entity that has entered our body and are using our body for an experiment for whatever they please, because they put these urges and these cravings into our body just so that we feed them. So what if the aliens aren't up in the sky and they aren't huge? What if they're already here and they are just so small that we can't see, but they've actually taken over the entire world because everybody has these worms, these pea sites? And it's just such a coincidence that the movie Aliens took their inspiration from this aquatic parasitic animal. Hope somebody found this interesting. Peace and love, y'all. Happy Easter. Yeah.
You're saying Antarctica wasn't always frozen?
There's a massive hole in Antarctica. You can see it on Google Earth and about 30 meters wide. But here's the weird part. Around that hole, there are bases, research stations. And each base, it's named after a different country. Every major nation has a presence there. They're all studying whatever's in that hole. But that's not even the craziest part. About, I'd say, 15 to 30 miles behind that hole, there's a gigantic pyramid. I'm talking massive. Way bigger than the ones in Egypt. You can see its complete apex. It's been featured on the History Channel, Ancient Aliens. It's not a secret. It's just there. Now, how did a pyramid get in Antarctica? No sand, no tools, just ice. Well, Antarctica wasn't always frozen. That continent, it shifted. The Earth's crust slipped, moved the landmass all the way to the South Pole during a pole shift. Rapid, violent. And here's the scientific proof. As the ice melts thanks to global warming, they're finding animals buried in the ice, perfectly preserved. And when they dissect them, undigested food, still in their stomachs. You know what that means?
They froze instantly?
Exactly. Flash frozen. Something catastrophic happened. Fast. And nobody's talking about it.
This is just a theory, not a fact.
What the fuck?
predictions for May 2025 part 2. Make sure to hit those buttons if you want to see part 1 and part 3. I'm seeing acid rain making somewhat of a comeback in a major city, causing disaster. A lot of people will be posting on social media. I see a major strike in the UK, which is obviously public at this point, but I see it leading to hundreds of arrests, if not thousands of arrests. And I'm sure people don't expect that because it is just a strike. Here we go. Population collapse in the USA and the UK begins. This is not good, and this is because of a certain thing and people not being able to have children. New revolutionary medicine sickens thousands of people. I say that with quotations because, you know, that, right? Because that part right there. Millions abandon social media that censors them. So if you don't want your users to abandon your platform, stop censoring them. Major earthquake in the south. I feel like this is in a rare location. So this is something that's like, it's unexpected. It's not supposed to be happening, right? And you find my music, which is now on Spotify and iTunes. Off-Grid Secrets, The World Needs More Love. Bookmark that, baby. I'm telling you, one of the best love albums ever made. Message me for personal predictions. There you go. Have a good day. Peace, love. Click all those buttons. I love you guys.
Remember when the skies were actually rich and blue. Think back to childhood, those endless blue skies, rich and vibrant. No strange haze, no dull white film, just a deep, endless blue stretching into forever. But now, the sky feels faded, muted, almost artificial. Some say it's just pollution. Others claim our memories are playing tricks on us. But what if it's not? Old films, vintage postcards, even classical paintings. So many depict a sky that was alive, full of depth. Even cartoons used to capture that same rich blue. Step outside today and it's different. The sky feels weaker, like a screen, filtering something out. What changed? Some believe the atmosphere itself is being altered, whether through industrial emissions or something more deliberate. Could certain particles be placed in the sky to reflect or diffuse sunlight, dimming what we once saw? Could this explain why, after it rains, the sky returns back to its rich blue color? Then there are the sun simulators, official patterns for artificial light sources designed to mimic the sun. Why would they need to create an artificial sun, unless the real one no longer shines the way it once did? And then there's the strangest possibility, that we are being separated from something. Ancient texts spoke of a firmament, a barrier between us and the heavens. What if the sky is being veiled, not to protect us, but to hide what's beyond? What if the deep blue we remember wasn't just a trick of the mind, but a glimpse of something we were meant to forget? And if that's true, what else have we forgotten?
The pyramids of Giza, that 1,000-meter structure of these pillars. Well, apparently, people have now gone down to the bottom of it, and they filmed what's down there. Apparently, this is what's at the bottom of these pyramids. This looks really advanced to be at the bottom of all of this.
We'll watch.
Or is this what's going on? At the bottom, 1,000 meters down. This is more. What is all this? Is that Buddha? In celebration of this discovery, they had a rave party at the pyramids.
Whoa.
So they could celebrate this new discovery. You know, they're not waking up Pharaoh, they're not waking up the dead. We're all here.
No, they're raising the roof.
We're all here to celebrate together.
What? Everybody has questions for me? But all of these are questions you really should be asking yourselves. Or do you think a cartoon character is going to storm out into the streets and change your life? You are insane. My life is entertained by yours no more than yours is entertained by mine. But I also have a question. What are you waiting for? You boil up with bile in your comments, you write me emotional emails, you're eating, shitting, and laughing, and waiting. You're waiting for me to tell you what you need to do. You're just a bunch of lazy cowards! I can't actually climb out of the internet. You'd have to be some kind of dumb goat to not understand that. Yes, before I came along, there was something torturing you from the inside. Some worm burrowing through your withering brain cells. But then Freeman takes the stage. Well, hi there. Time to disco! Everybody follow the cartoon guy! Yahoo! Everyone is happy! Hey! Everyone's jerking off and laughing! Bread and circuses for everybody!
Mouse cup controversy. So Disney makes cups like for every like character, but specifically in the Mickey ones, it writes the word Mickey inside of it, right?
Yeah.
And you know how we talked about water holds or liquid holds frequency, and whatever you're drinking, it's like positive or negative, right? So on the surface of the liquid, and it says Mickey, you can see it like reflects, right? And once you reflect Mickey into the liquid, it spells out wicked.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, because the M is W.
The M is W. I'll show you. So everyone's asking, like, is that premeditated? Why would like Walt Disney make his most famous character Mickey? The word Mickey.
Is it only wicked because the Y? The Y's in cursive, so it looks like a D.
Oh, yeah, I'll show you it. Hold on.
I just don't like cursive in general, bro.
Yeah.
Cursive
So
writing.
Lily, whenever you're watching or you're wicked.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen this Mickey episode, but it's the one where he's making Swiss cheese.
Manufacturing an Antichrist. Are y'all ready to find out who this really is? He's getting a lot of followers lately, but there's a reason for that. Let's go down the rabbit hole. And I'm telling you, you have to see this. There are many things on search engines you cannot find unless you know how to do the workarounds. Last night, I alleged that he was working for certain agencies, United States, Middle East, all over the place. He's not necessarily a fraud, I mean he is, but he's just doing a job that he was given. A job that he was forced into? It's very probable. Let me show you what I found. So let's start with the basics. As I told you last night, he didn't just pop out of nowhere. He's been making videos for years. But before that, he was making movies and documentaries. But the biggest thing that I see in this is the timing of the come up. You remember what happened last week with someone passing away? I really do wonder how someone who was failing at YouTube could get a global push. What's this behind me? He is the director of this movie, The Arrival, which goes into the Antichrist, the jaw, religion, and all of this stuff. And would you believe me if I didn't say he's trying to fuse the religions into one? Put an end to dividing lies, let the truth be known, trying to expose the plans of Satan and his followers by providing details and proofs, the way they control our lives and mind and bind us from the truth and the worship of one God. So what was this guy doing between 2008 and 2012? His explicit online-filled probe the hidden agendas of greedy corporations, governments, media, fashion, movies, celebrity, food, drugs, blank to control people. talking about secret societies and blank flag events and the establishment of the new order. And if you don't want to see me dance around these words like a 4-year-old, go to the red play button. So now what we have is this guy who current day is trying to act like he's the offspring of the main characters of religion, so we should listen to him. He's also been exposing and whistleblowing at the same time making these documentaries on religion. Here's where it gets crazy. With many people seeking to silence me and destroy my mission after I moved to Egypt. So he's not originally from Egypt. He moved to Egypt and learned that the 3-letter agency of the United States raided his house and his former web admins living in the United States. Seized all computer materials relating to his old site, which by the way is down and expired. And I believe that this was like 2012 to 14. So now we have this documentary filmmaker, religious leader who's being raided and targeted by certain agencies. Abdullah versus the new something order. Now this is someone that was familiar with his work. Abdullah used to work with the Noriega and something on the Wake Up Project, and he helped them create the arrival. Suddenly he moved to Egypt and became a follower of Ahmed, the man claiming to be the Yemeni. What do you think? Have you ever watched his videos? Wait. So you mean to tell me that after the raid and interrogations, all of a sudden he moved to Egypt and he claimed to be some religious leader? It gets crazier because he was apparently doing some stuff in Jordan, and DAWN recently documented the case of several activists targeted by the GID that were trying to change the government in Jordan, and guess what? He was one of them. And I believe it was that he went to school in Indiana University. He's more like my ethnicity than in the Middle East. So we got two options. He was either deceived, then bribed, and overtaken by these 3-letter agencies and 5-letter agencies, you know, over there. Or even his filmmaking and his story makes him seem more credible as if he was on our side. And by the way, if anyone falls for the religion fusion that he's trying to do, this is what their holy book describes their guy looks like. Be very careful who you listen to. And by the way, he says America is the Antichrist, right? Well, if you know what America really is, and if you realize that these agencies know a lot more than you do, especially about history, maybe you should tap into some historical commentary on the scripture from a couple hundred years ago. You might surprise yourself.
In the hybrid programs that I was associated with, they were cloning not only species like plants and animals, but they were also regenerating tissues of extraterrestrials and growing them and then cloning them. And then they started cloning humans a very long time ago. It's interesting now that in the news, after talking about this a few times, that now they're coming forward. China just has been doing it forever, but in their underground facilities, cloning people, cloning, of course, you heard about, they cloned the first primate. And hey, they can clone a primate. This verifies what I'm talking about. Well, they can definitely clone a human. And they're also growing humans for organs. But clones are everywhere. Human, extraterrestrial, they're wandering all over. You know, some people will refer to these as doppelgangers because they can grow a human to look like someone and mind program and implant them with circuitry and things like this. And they will really think they had this life and implant them into a business or into whatever organization they want.
Well, is there a hidden agenda? Because you've just brought something up that just scares the living daylights out of me. To replace us with a clone, and who would know the difference?
This is one of the probably only times, George, that you got me on a negative part, because there is an agenda. There are hundreds of people being cloned in underground facilities in Australia and in some parts of the United States. There's no reason to, clone people and keep it a secret and make horrible experiments on these people and mind implant them.
We're primarily concerned about humans cloning human for their own purpose.
Right.
But what about ETs cloning humans?
I mean, it's possible. I'm not aware of any extraterrestrials that are, cloning humans. I am aware of extraterrestrial beings that are collecting DNA from humans.
That's been ongoing.
Ongoing, but for a good reason, not for a bad reason. They can make anything too. I mean, they're already at an advanced level of science that we would not understand to do that if they needed to.
Is a clone, Emery, basically human being identical to the clone? And so they eat, they sleep, they do everything that a human does?
No, because they still have to go through the growing process. It's a lot of work.
You can't speed that up.
Well, they have sped it up. They can make a George Norrie in about 8 years, from baby to you.
Okay.
The problem is the brain cannot grow that fast as the body can. There seems to be a problem they're having with the brains.
What's the agenda? What's the mission here to clone?
I don't know that agenda. I can just give you my opinion on it, that they would use it for a fear type thing, such as a fake alien invasion, definitely control, like a secret army, a secret group of assassins. You know, it's very frightful just to know that they're doing this on a mass production conveyor belt is horrifying enough.